So as the guys get ready for the day date, Rachel is comforted by the best person to talk to in a moment like this. Not her mom, but rather Jesse Palmer. He says, you're going through a storm right now. Just trust your gut. I can't give you my playbook. Jesse, none of these words are helping.
These would have helped George Clooney in that film. Well, just the storm.
You're talking
I guess
about
they
Michael
wouldn't have.
Clayton?
The Perfect Storm.
Oh, the perfect storm.
But they wouldn't have. The playbook wouldn't apply to Perfect Storm either. So shut up, Jesse.
Shut up, Jesse. Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name is Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
Ahoy, mateys.
Pat, producer of the podcast, over there behind my glasses.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
We did this again, huh?
What do you mean?
Just
Talked
watch
about the
watch the
Bachelor,
show and.
Oh, we don't want to be that negative, do we?
No. I mean, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to congratulate us. I don't think there are that many people left watching this show or listening to this podcast, but those who do, we love you. We're kidding. We can fill Azteca Stadium in COVID years. I mean, it's just nuts.
It's crazy.
And I don't know about you guys, but even though I was over it, I was done with school, my favorite year was senior year. I wasn't trying, but I had a blast, and that's what I'm going to do with you fellas here tonight.
100%.
You know what? I like that analogy because it's like, I don't know if we've said this, but we're done talking about this podcast after this season. And we'll do Bachelor in Paradise, and we'll have an even better time because that is just mocking the show, and it's having fun, and we'll all have a party.
And we may do the Bachelors and the Bachelorettes just at patreon.com because it'll be better if we can do it there. Because we can be better if we do it there.
Yeah.
Because we'll be better, and we'll be better there.
And we'll be doing it there.
We'll be doing it there, and we'll be making more dollars, more guap there, which will make us happier better there.
Yeah.
So that's where you do it.
And I was going to touch on what Nick kind of pointed out, the whole senior year. You're wrapping it up. I'm going to enjoy the last 5 episodes because I see the end. I see the diploma.
Yes.
Okay.
100%,
I see greener pastures,
Yeah.
moving on, getting away from all those ugly people that I went to high school with that annoyed me. I want to meet new people.
Right.
I think there's a very good chance I won't be receiving my diploma, but here at episode 5, that's not bothering me.
We're going to be on the senior patio. We're going to be playing Mario Kart instead of going to chemistry. And
New courses.
Mr. Fritz is going to come out, who is our English teacher, and he's going to go, you can't play video games at school. Read a book. And he's going to unplug the Nintendo 64. That's a personal memory. I shouldn't have brought that up.
Fine.
But anyways, we have to get to public service announcements. One's out of the way. This is over soon. God, it's been such a ride. 2, jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Yeah. Leave 5 stars, kind words, and just say things like the best.
Or something. Don't say what one other listener said. Said she got a couple minutes in and we started tearing into that poor bastard that lost a leg. Thought it was so mean-spirited.
You.
Oh, yeah.
You started
Don't do it again, and thank you for correcting him. How dare you use that collective pronoun, because me and Nick were not involved in your squeamishness. But
we is Pat's chosen pronoun.
this is a great review from Chelsea Girl. The most hilarious recap out there. I love these dudes. Thank you, Chelsea Girl. And there was another one. We'll read it maybe on the last episode. It was this dissertation it's so long. I can't.
Did they attack us?
No. It was really beautiful, but it was very, very long. It might have been on Below Deck. I'm not sure. But anyways, we have to get into the show. Nick has gone to gather his. It's from Lucia Katie. We'll get there. It's a long one.
Hey, all right. So here's a call to action. Hey, we want to hit 1,500 before we close the door on this. We've been doing this for like 4 years,
and we're going to turn it into a new show that we'll announce very, very soon. So it would help to have the new show, start on a good foot.
Yeah. So leave us 5 stars if you haven't already. That's the way you pat us on the back and give us a little positive reinforcement, and we'll maybe continue to do something.
Public service announcements over. Time for Rose's general thoughts, pots, and also knots. And I'm going to go first. You said don't be negative. I dare not be negative because I actually really enjoyed this episode.
Oh, good.
It was a lot of fun. The Ugly Logan narrative was a little bit too pronounced, but I'm going to have fun shitting on him tonight. Also fun dates, We're in Bruges.
Yeah, I guess they famous for chocolate there or something like that.
50 pots.
Okay. All right. I don't know how I feel about the episode. I think I was just in a bad mood when I was watching. You know, this thing's 2 hours long. Too long, you know. But one thing I did notice is this Logan's season of The Bachelor?
Yeah, great question.
Is it Rachel and Gabby's season?
Yeah,
because
great question.
he was in 90% of this fucking episode. And dare I say, this is the only season where someone like Logan would be eating up our television time. I can't imagine one Bachelorette fawning over this fool, never mind two. Absolutely absurd. And by the way, the person who's doing all the spray tanning for both Bachelorettes on the show, you should be fired immediately. Your work is extremely patchy. As someone who owned a tanning salon at one point, you should be ashamed of yourself, and I have screenshots and receipts to show it. Multiple shots of both Gabby and Rachel walking around with horrible spray tan jobs. Shame on yourself.
When you say screenshots, do you mean you standing in front of your television taking a picture of it?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think it qualifies as a screenshot. It's a
Yeah,
shot
no,
he
it
took on his phone
technically it
of the
does.
screen.
Yeah, but it's definitely not what that means.
Yeah. Unless you meant what are my thoughts on the episode?
Yeah, no, that is what I meant.
Makes
but
a ton more sense.
Yeah.
Now that I realized.
No, I realized it too, how confusing that was.
All the complaining we're doing and joking about being done, I didn't think this was that bad. It's where Senior year. I am starting to see how the gripes from production about how difficult this would be when no one likes Rachel and they cancel everything.
Right.
That's got to be pretty difficult. Too much Logan at the end. He was like every other shot. One time, it was my first time I ever edited a video, and it was for it was just computer class. I think we just had to edit a video, and I did one for this boxing gym class, Mr. Caney's boxing gym class that he was doing at lunch, and every shot was it was to Eye of the Tiger back when you could. There's no DMCA stuff, right. And I just showed shots of people doing boxing shots, and then interspliced every other shot was Mr. Caney's son, who looked very effeminate, but he wanted to be fierce, and it was just him. And that's what they did with Logan. Just every other shot was Logan.
I was gonna say that.
I failed that project, but it got a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
What are your general
72
How
roses.
many roses petals and thorns do you give
You
it?
didn't get that from that?
Our bachelorettes and contestants and 700 other paying guests set sail aboard Virgin's Valiant Lady to Bruges.
Dylan, I know you said this last week about Mickey Mouse being, budgetary reasons. He was going to have the show taped on an actual cruise that other people were paying for. I have not seen any evidence of another single human being on this boat and how difficult that would be for Mickey Mouse to shoot around that. I actually believe this stupid boat was decommissioned by Disney Cruise Liners because it could sink at any time.
Oh, got it. I like that take.
Yeah. So there's no one on this boat. It's a boat that's not seaworthy. But if they all died, it doesn't matter.
Very interesting take.
We talked about how that would be baller if they had the yacht to themselves, so possibly this is baller. I hope they still have dealers in the casino, because that would be a blast.
That'd be a huge bummer if there were nobody to dish them cards out over that beautiful, beautiful felt. But I disagree. I have a joke coming up, and I guess I'll just say it now, but I was thinking that they are waking Gabby up at 4:30 in the morning to go eat ice cream, because that's the only time that they can clear everybody out of the cafeteria,
That's funny.
It's funny, but
Thanks.
I still like my theory, which is that Mickey Mouse
we
pulled
got
this
your theory
out of a graveyard, and he was like, if it sinks, fuck it. Who cares if a guy named Meatball dies?
Yeah.
Meatballs float. I thought it was cool. If you're right, Pat, and it's empty, I think we are setting ourselves up for a Shining-esque ending to this episode, because it's long hallways, empty people, fake bartenders. Logan's going to go crazy and kill everybody on the boat. Am I right, guys?
I feel we're at the hotel in Shining.
Speaking of killing, I just saw this
Me too.
fucking Steve Harvey bit about the Titanic, about how if there were black people on there, that it wouldn't have happened. Not all those people would have died. The band's playing as the ship goes down. That wouldn't have fucking happened if there were black people. Cool Gang would have been like, unplug that shit, come on! He is very funny. He has bizarre comedy. He has that famous joke about going to Iraq. He wants George Bush to send him over there, and he'd just start firing women, children. He would just kill everybody. It's really actually quite bizarre, but he's really funny.
Yeah, he's on our TV set every
So
night.
anyways, the guys are talking about stress and ping pong and all that shit, and we get to a date card. Ugly Logan. Oh, yes.
What, Steve Harvey? Do you watch Family Feud every night?
Every night.
Wow.
Yeah, Bachelor was on. Oh, yeah, sad thought. Did you know that Michelle broke up with Nate?
No.
Oh, I did.
You
I
did,
yeah.
And this episode, Steve Harvey, he's like asking her, "Hey, how's your like? What do you think about your love life?" And she's like, basically, all guys suck. And Nate was on the opposing team.
What a great way or venue to get a look into someone's heart rather than at the podium on the feud.
Shit, wait, they were on the feud?
Yeah, they're on the feud.
Oh, that's so interesting. And they were on opposite sides.
I believe they're on opposite sides.
Because Family Feud is one of the last remaining bastions of racism. So you usually
pitting Mexican people versus black people or white people versus black
Asian
people.
versus it's always
Oh, yeah, 100%.
and I guess you go, oh, it's familial units are usually the same race. Well, yeah, I get it, but I mean, it's
bigots.
always
It's overt.
yeah. So anyways, Ugly Logan, upon hearing his name, I do a roll call.
Oh, who's going to be on the Rachel's date card?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I was going to say that they announced they're going to Belgium, and Rachel's excited to try some chocolate. And Gabby eats an ice cream cone prepared on a boat that is not seaworthy. I'm concerned about the condition of the kitchen that produced that ice cream.
Yeah, it's 4:30 in the morning.
Okay, here's the date card for Rachel. Here's the date card. Here's a roll call. Tino probably going to obviously win because I don't know. Zach looks like he could be a model for a beard dye company. Meatball never noticed his eyebrows took up that much space on his head.
Yeah.
Ethan, even he knows he's boring. Tyler, no clue the fuck this guy is. He's small. Logan, only in this season of The Bachelor would this homely fucking bastard be a front runner.
Ethan is a surefire. I don't want to say loser, but he's not going to win the competition.
No, you don't think?
But I'll tell you what, Ethan's got game, man. If Rachel wasn't from Tampa and not into Asians in any way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
I think he could put up a real good fight because he's got some game, man. I like Ethan. So Ugly Logan, upon hearing his name, says, when you hear your name on a date card, usually it's a good thing, but this one's a little bittersweet. And there's a lot of subtext in that, but I was just thinking, can you imagine being on the show and seeing or hearing a grown man sitting next to you just talking like this? The stank face the camera would capture of me, I'd just be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Dylan, I share that same thought with you, especially when he started laying down that he had a connection, but he also has a connection with Gabby. And since he didn't get the one-on-one, and instead will have to hang out with a guy named Meatball all day, he wants out of this team.
Yeah, he doesn't like the social club.
Third meatball, stray bullet from Pat.
Seriously. Gosh, take it easy. But he is Ugly Logan. He looks like a third-string quarterback with a drinking problem, and because of that, has all the confidence in the world to go tell Rachel that he's just not that into her. He reminds me of it's kind of a deep cut, but Kyle Orton. He's like a junior college Kyle Orton.
I really, really see it. He had the worst body when they did that talent show competition.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt in my mind he can wing it about 65 yards barely with effortless.
Yeah, he could break somebody's hand on a cross route, he
That's
starts.
why he wore a gold chain in high school, a skinny gold chain in high school. I know he did.
Yeah. And he has the neck of an Arkansas quarterback. It's just, God, he's horrible. So,
Dan Bailey.
he starts by saying that he is honored by her roses, and pretty much any and all praise is making her happy in this, beginning phase of the breakup.
Yeah.
She
doesn't know it's coming.
She's buzzing, but it quickly turns. And he tells her that he's not into her and he has a connection with Gabby. And once that is off his chest, he is all smiles. He's like, and I look at you and I'm like, God, what am I doing? Because
that's good. Where you can stop now. I love the over explaining.
I love that she shut him down because he was essentially going it's crazy. I'd totally fuck you, but
I should totally be into you, but I
Gabby's so much hotter. Me personally.
I also
you're
feel
a nice
like
person. Okay, shut up.
You're the sure thing, and I'm taking a chance here. It's baffling. I know. I'm a wild man.
Yeah. So I was actually rooting for her in this moment. I was a little sick of her last week, But now it's starting to get a little bit much. I mean, she's really getting the shit beat out of her.
Oh yeah, I thought this
mean-
was like a storyline, like it's two guys and who cares, like. But no, it seems like this is a real storyline we got going here. Guys do not want to be on Rachel's team.
And if you have a heart, this could be sad, but I found myself every time she was offering a rose to someone, just a little bit of me was hoping they turned it down, just to see.
Right.
Just to see.
For entertainment's purposes. So as the guys get ready for the J-date, Rachel is comforted by the best person to talk to in a moment like this. Not her mom, but rather Jesse Palmer. He says, you're going through a storm right now. Just trust your gut. I can't give you my playbook. Jesse, none of these words are helping.
These would have helped George Clooney in that film. Well, just the storm.
You're talking
I guess
about
they
Michael
wouldn't have.
Clayton?
Perfect Storm.
Oh, the perfect storm.
But
Yeah.
they wouldn't have. The playbook wouldn't apply to Perfect Storm either. So shut up, Jesse.
Shut up, Jesse. The guys keep gallivanting around Belgium all the while this conversation is happening. They see stray men wrestling in chocolate. ABC paid for that.
Okay, so I owned a sightseeing tour company, and I know
Hollywood tours.
yeah, and I know all the the hot spots in Hollywood, but all the touristy destinations. I'm wondering, while as I was watching these,
What's the
they're
shittiest
just,
one, by the way?
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
All those museums are jokes and
Oh, yeah.
garbage. Yeah, absolutely. Keep your children out of those.
Madame
places.
Tussauds, I can see the fun in it. Take a picture.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Oh, the Hollywood Walk of Fame is a dump.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Grauman's, outside of Grauman's.
It's all gross. All those people in the costumes, like Spider-Man, he hasn't washed his costume in 4 years.
It's crazy because being outside of Grauman's and seeing all those Wolverines and whatnot, it's actually extremely dangerous because while the children do think that they are their heroes, they are actually
heroin-addicted addicts.
Yeah, mentally unwell human beings in superhero costumes. But anyways, what were you going to say? First, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a more accurate depiction of heroes and what we're seeing reflected in drama. They're the anti-heroes.
Right.
Yes. They mean well, but they're have horrible addiction problems.
Well, I was going to point out is, those bare-chested Vikings that were fighting in a baby pool of chocolate milk. I'd like to know if that is, in fact, a tourist destination in Belgium. Like, hey, honey, hurry up or we'll miss the bare-chested Vikings wrestling in chocolate milk. Gotta get over it.
You say words so weird.
Really? Is this place Belgium's Louvre?
What? The guys dancing in chocolate?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Belgium has a lot to offer the world. There's actually quite a bit of culture, quite a bit of history. Shame on you, ugly American.
Well, I'm sorry.
Shame on you.
I'm sorry to say this is the first place we've gone to in Belgium.
So they are walking around and they just keep walking around and walking around. They
Aimlessly.
just keep walking around and walking around. And then they run into Jess and he goes, guys, I know your feet are bleeding, but good news, you can go sit for a while. Turns out Ugly Logan made her cry. She's canceling the date. So speaking of that confident youngish man, he is in a pensive moment, proclaiming that he has just finished the daunting task of telling Rachel that he doesn't find her to be his person. And then he heads over to talk to Gabby. Gabby welcomes him into her room, and she hears him. Mm-hmm. And one thing I noticed with Gab, she's very, very good at punctuating someone else speaking to her.
I can do an imitation. I know where you're going to throw down. Why don't you be Logan and have your thoughts, and I'll be Gabby.
I was going to ask you to do the same exact thing.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So I'll be Logan.
You want to be Logan? Oh, yeah. You be Logan. I'll be Gabby. Go ahead.
Or do you want to be Logan?
No. You be Logan, and you're breaking down what just happened.
Okay. Hey, I'm really happy that you didn't kick me out of here when you first saw me. Right. So I had a really uncomfortable talk with Rachel, but it was a conversation that I needed to have with her. Okay. The reason why I had the conversation with her is because since day one, I've
Will you shut up and let him finish a thought? I hate people that do that.
It's like, it's media training. It's like I think there was a master class on persuasion or something like that. And in one of the little Instagram reel things, it's like a tactic. Punctuate what someone's saying to you so they have these signifiers that they're
positive
listening.
Reinforcement.
Remember the last 3 words that they say and repeat them back to you. So it's like Gabby is just going to overdrive with this.
Well, she likes him.
media
That's
training.
actually what we'd call in the business a tell. She wants him to feel completely comfortable about what he just did. So in fact, it's probably a little bit of a nervous tick too. She's laying all her cards on the table though. She's like, she's co-signing on this bullshit.
Yeah, I really do not understand it. He is Ugly Logan.
Hey Dylan, one time I had this guy I was doing a deal with where I was gonna buy a guitar from him. We were kind of trading equipment and whatever, and I kept saying his name. Look, Ted, I know we're doing this. He's like, will you stop starting each sentence with my name? It's very annoying.
Ted's 100%
very
right.
annoying.
Yeah, he's 100% right. So, Gabby is good at punctuating people's speeches. She's also very good at dropping bombs. She tells him that he was
an overlapper.
Really the only overlapper, which again, shocking because he is Ugly Logan. And listen, I get it. I'm nowhere near the 8s, 9s, and 10s on the Richter scale, but neither is Logan. But he has the confidence of somebody who's that high, and it's frustrating. Also, I'm sure he's got some skeletons in his closet. There's no way you look like that, act like that, and wear that chain and not have them. So, what's going on with the claws?
What's up?
Dude, I tell.
Oh, you got not carbonated?
I tell this guy.
Yeah.
I go.
Yeah.
He calls me.
Nick is addicted to Celsius. He has a very Nick is very particular about, and not even that particular. It's just make sure the can has bubbies in it.
And I know we should get to the show. I'm going to say this quickly, and I have to move on. It's been a harrowing night with Celsius. I have my first one in my Uber. I just Uber Eats for one. The guy calls me. He says they don't have grape. I only ordered grape because it was the first carbonated one in front of me on the list. He calls me. He says they don't have grape. I go, get anything with carbonation.
Yeah.
And he goes carbonation. He goes, this sparkling. I go, yes, sparkling. Just don't get the non-carbonated.
Yeah. Take.
He,
It
breathe.
says clearly non-carbonated.
I get to the. He understands. He says sparkling. Cool.
Yeah.
I get it. He hands me the bag. I joke with him. I go, I had a non-carbonated Celsius once. It was the worst day of my life. He goes, oh yeah. Little did he know, and now I have another one. Now I have to chug it. What a day.
Why don't you do a 50-50 with a claw?
You know, it's so. You guys are.
You're a genius, Pat.
God, Jesus Christ.
No, I'm just kidding.
You know, maybe you save it for APS, but it really is insane that you got to tip these food delivery people.
They're getting in their car, dude, and they're driving. They have to deal waiting in line.
I know, but there's a lot that can be done en route from the restaurant to your house that would render their tip not so big. You know, you got to tip them up top, and then, you know, it says leave it at the door. I get a phone call from an 85-year-old Korean man who doesn't know how to open my gate and makes me come outside. He's got the wrong bag, has to walk down the block, come back, take a picture of it. It's like I would have knocked off $1 because this is an unpleasant experience. We have to get back to the show. So Ugly Logan does a cute little ditty where he says, I'm glad that you remembered my name. You know, I thought you were going to say, oh, do you have fresh towels? Yeah. Good game, but fuck off. You have the confidence of Ryan Gosling for some ungodly reason. So,
Gabby visits Rach.
we have a lovely sister moment. Gabby goes over and talks to Rachel with the way Rachel was going off in the beginning about Logan. I was like, oh, Gabby, you're going to have to let Ugly Logan go. But Rachel says, I don't want your heart getting in the way of your heart. You know, It's very confusing.
She does. She still hopes she sends his ass home.
Yes, she does end with an OTF saying, I hope she eliminates him. That is not going to happen. You know, nope, I'll save it. So moving on. Yep.
Just on another podcast show, I want to attempt to call Stanley, my Uber Eats driver, and just see what he has to say on the matter.
I'm 100% down. Go to patreon.com/another podcast network to hear that. So moving on to the night date. But before we do, let's talk about Magic Mind. Actually, you know what? We haven't talked about a lot of Bachelors, so let's save it. Back to the show, and the worst part of the show, dormant time with the contestants. This is when, like I brought up that thing that Logan said, you know, when you get a date card, usually you're happy, but not today. there's lots of pageant platitudes that the guys say to one another. It's way worse on seasons of The Bachelorette.
Well, exactly. It's all guys. It's so fun when it's The Bachelor and the girls are doing it. They're way more
They
fun than
bring
guys.
it.
They
Yeah.
bring it.
I think it's more natural to them. None of these guys would fucking talk like this.
No.
But they have tasers in their backs.
Yes, Mickey's there. Well, not Tino, though, because he lets us know it's nice that all the guys are fawning over Rachel and telling her that they want to give her the world. But this bitch needs to hear that he's not happy with her ditching that fucking date.
Okay, so I love that you brought that up, but I hate the way that you brought it
Well,
up.
no, it was his words.
No, it wasn't, but we'll move on now.
I heard in relationships it shouldn't matter who's right.
The relationship needs to win.
Yes, yeah. You guys been talking? So, the Ethan, the token Asian guy, says, "Can't wait to get some time with her." And boring Zach, mute Matt Zach, says it's important that we're just here for her tonight. I don't know how to fix this show.
Hey, token Asian guy, you're gonna have to.
Yeah. So Rachel heads in, lays it all out, and then begins fly fishing for ego boosts. She says, "You guys don't have to stay if you don't want to. You can." Does anybody?
Can I throw out?
No.
We haven't examined this, right? We haven't talked about it. We talked about how the guys split off, so we have two simultaneous seasons of The Bachelorette going on. So do you know how many guys Rachel has left?
7.
5. Gabby has 7.
Yeah.
That means if you're in this pool of men, if my math could be a little off, but I think I'm pretty solid here.
One more than hometowns.
We have fantasy suites. You got a 65 shot at fucking her in the fantasy room.
Okay. I mean,
It's I don't make the rules. It's 3 guys.
all right. So forget the crassness of this comment.
Hey, beep that, Brian.
Forget the crassness of this comment. I think Nick edits the. Never mind. 65%?
Yeah.
But that's not
There's
good math, Pat.
5
That doesn't
guys,
make any
3 fantasy suites. You have a 65% chance. You're better than 50. If it
He's
was
right on
6
that.
guys and there's 3 fantasy suites, you're 50-50. If you got 3 fantasy suites and 5 guys, you got a 65% chance.
It's just 60.
It's just 60.
It's just 60?
But you were.
Well, I was doing the math in
You
my
were
head.
closer than I thought you were. So Tino is after after Ethan. He really kills it, but she has no idea who he is. Tino is up next. It's Tino or bust. We can't stop. We can stop watching Rachel's part of this at this point, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's done. It's Tino. Maybe Zach, but no. Maybe Avon, but no. It's Tino.
And if God, it's so Tino, but the man should be the Bachelor. I like to call him this season's Thomas.
Yeah. Well, it's just the way that she kisses him. She did something quote unquote special for him. And also, he was the only one, like Pat mentioned, who was upset with her. Mm-hmm. And I think that she likes it because, you know, it's not about Andrew Tate-isms. I don't want to slip into Andrew Tate-isms, but it's real. The other guys are just showering her with this praise of bravery and poise and courage and pageant platitudes. He's like, hey, I was really fucking bummed that you let this ruin the whole day. I wish I got to spend time with you.
But he was so tactful with it. It was a very tasty compliment sandwich.
It was hot, yeah.
Very tasty compliment sandwich. He started off being like, I just want to say, I'm here for you. I'm going to be here the whole way for you, but I don't feel seen. Listen, I'm the hottest here, okay?
Yeah.
If you want all of this, that's what you want. Oh, this is the exact words.
I
got the
remember.
transcript. If you want all of this,
Yeah.
just recognize. But again, I'm here for you.
Do you want to play the
Close
clip?
the sandwich. No.
Okay. So she does the scream therapy thing with Zach. Yuck. And then in an M. Night Shyamalan type twist, she picks Tino. Also teased on another podcast show. Maybe we can talk about it, but watched Old over the weekend. Have you guys seen Old?
Is that
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. I watched the last 30 minutes of it.
I don't understand how things this bad and this expensive are allowed to be seen by the
Horrible.
public. I don't get
Horrible.
how it's like We're gonna do it. We're gonna show people. I guess they have to make some of their money back, but it's just
people. And I'm gonna ruin it
It's
for everybody.
so
you don't need to watch
bad.
this movie. I was told that this.
Let's do it on another podcast show. Patreon.com/another podcast.
Ooh, great
I
tease.
love teases.
All right, so
Have you seen Bear? Bear's right up your alley.
what's Bear?
It's a chef Netflix show.
Oh, the bear.
It's
yeah,
Pippa.
Yeah.
The Bear.
Yeah.
Is it? How do you say his name from Shameless? Pippa.
He is so hot.
Pip.
I find him so attractive.
Ladies love him.
God, he is so fucking hot.
Yeah.
If you guys love these tangents and non sequiturs, you would love another podcast.
Yeah,
show.
we'll do that on
Bear's
another podcast.
great. He takes over his dead brother's restaurant. And
Yeah.
he's a famous
The
Michelin star chef.
Yeah, he worked at 11 Madison Park. The cousin character makes me so angry. Anyways, moving on. 2, a little talk about Magic Mind. Guys, Magic Mind is a once daily anti-procrastination elixir. It's got 12 natural, beautiful ingredients. You know them by now, but we'll rattle off a couple. Echinacea, matcha. I said a couple, not a few. You are getting your asses handed to you, Bachelor fans. The Below Deck audience is... they're handing you your butts, like I said.
We assume.
So, pick up your swords, pick up your shields, and get to work. Go to magicmind.co, enter in promo code
Rose. Do you guys procrastinate?
Yeah.
Yes, you do. You waited so long to listen to this podcast this week. You should have done that. You're procrastinating. Drink Magic Mind. Start knocking stuff off your to-do list instead of seeing it grow. Magicmind.co/Rose.
/Rose.
Use
Promo code Rose.
20%.
25% off.
Rose.
Try my So, back to the show. I mean, night and day with this date. I mean, we've got Gabby's guys. The sun is brighter. The UV index is a little higher, but we've got sunscreen for that. It's a sacrifice we're willing to make. The vibes are up with these guys. Evidently, Johnny got the one-on-one, missed that, but really quickly about this.
They didn't bother say it. They didn't even say who was on Gabby's date. They just cut to it.
They didn't know his name.
Right.
Really quickly about this gondola, though. They're going down the river. Everybody's like, duck, duck, duck. Unbelievably dangerous. How low that bridge was and how fast that boat was going. Reminds me of that guy that got decapitated on Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Oh, you want to even hear
At Disneyland, one of my least favorite places on earth.
the company that bought my tour company?
Yeah.
They had a double-decker bus, sold it out to a bunch of partying kids.
No shit.
It did read, "Do not stand on the seats on this ride." One poor kid did. Took his fucking head off on
Yeah.
405.
Right.
Parents tried to sue. First time I ever heard where actually a company prevailed. They're like, we have video and audio of the bus driver saying, "Do not stand up on the seats."
Yeah.
Having it as an option, though, it does
Well,
seem
it's an
crazy.
open air
Yeah,
double
yeah.
decker,
No,
you
fair-
dummy.
Not me. I mean,
At some point, we
why
got
don't yell at me? I didn't stand on the seat.
Yeah, and he didn't sue either. But at some point, you got to go, hey, we can't be sued for stupidity. I mean, it's just, some things have to be, a little unsafe. We have to live this life, okay? Be smart about it.
I remember I was doing the deal with the owner, Vahid Sapir, when he was going through that. And I asked him, we had all the lawyers in the room. I said,
What a name.
"You concerned about that?" And he said, "No."
All right, so they eat waffles. Eric and her do a cute whipped cream thing. He's a fucking snake.
And contribute to COVID reemerging. Thanks, guys.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Was this the waffle part of the date where they finally get Belgium waffles? Pretty sure the bass player for Prince, so he's like, "Yeah, waffles are fine." Hey, where's those bare-chested Vikings fighting in a baby pool of chocolate milk?
Oh, you're doing a gay joke. Think he's gay? You doing a gay joke right now? Oh, wow.
He's got a daughter.
Okay. So
That doesn't mean anything.
they then roll up on some children playing soccer.
Yeah.
You can really see the youth infrastructure here. It's why Belgium is one of the powerhouses of the international game.
It is crazy when
Top 5 team. Unbelievable.
small countries like that are able to be such a force. And it's because these kids are out there, and it's not because they have Bachelorette contestants ruining their practice.
Yeah, great point. They're just picking up the children. They're trying to be the next Kevin De Bruyne. Put the kid down.
Can I tell you?
You're being a dick.
Can I tell you why I'm many reasons why I'm happy we're not going to continue to do this show anymore?
You keep saying that. Aren't we going to keep putting?
We're
going
gonna
to
do the paywall.
The paywall?
Yeah, we're doing. Yeah,
okay.
Paywall. I need to be paid to do
Yeah.
this. It comes to mind the third time that we just randomly play with kids that have a soccer kicking around. They don't even try anymore. They
just-
literally pull out a sheet from past seasons to go, What do we got? What do we got?
Yeah.
All right. Find like 3 random kids playing soccer. We can eat up like 5 minutes of the show doing that.
Why don't we crash a random family's party this episode?
Whoa.
At that kid's soccer game, someone get Willard on the phone. We want him announcing he's dead. Oh, shit.
God damn it. Who didn't tell me that?
Is Larry Miller know where he is?
Okay. So, moving on to the fish slap dance game. Monty Python did it better. Can we move on?
Is this? This sucks. All right, let's go to night date.
So, bad guy from Black Panther. Thanks her for a fun day. And however corny that was, it was a lot of fun this day. You know, I really enjoyed it. The guys toast to a great night, and everything is humming. And that is when Ugly Logan walks in, third string quarterback for the Washington Commanders. He tells them what's going on, and the guys are pissed. And then Gabby walks in, and the look on all the guys' faces say in unison, "You bitch."
When they came back from commercial break, the ominous music was playing. There were some questions asked. But when he first walked in, they fucking all high-fived him. Logan's the quarterback of this place, and they were excited to see him. They're like, Logan's back.
Mario is up next, or the first to talk to her. Maybe the other black guy that looks like him. So I know that's a microaggression, but I really cannot tell them apart. They look so similar.
Yeah.
There's Mario and then the other guy that gets eliminated. They both get eliminated tonight.
Oh, I was thinking Avon.
No, he's strikingly handsome and doesn't have the same exact beard that they have. And also, I don't know. That's the problem with the season. I don't know a lot of names.
Nope.
I can't differentiate between the guy that takes her into the hall full of lights. I don't know what that guy's name is. He looks like anyways. So Eric says that maybe that Logan at the bar having a drink with the other guys, just waiting, says that Logan's the most calculated guy here, second only to you, Greg Grippo. Fucking don't like this guy.
Which guy said that?
Eric,
yeah,
the snake.
I think Eric's fine. I think Gabby's kind of repulsed by him. Later they kiss, and she's just like pressing her lips closed. But he seems fine.
Black Panther bad guy's up next. Then Eric, and they're doing this thing where me and Nick are gonna have a debate about this, but they're putting their hand on her throat, and I know that a lot of people like that. Not all, but quite a few. But this is happening not after 15 minutes of tantric, and not after like a lovely light dinner where you have some sexy conversation. This is a kiss. It's just a lot. It's another trademark move of The Bachelor where these guys put their hands fiercely on the back of their neck, on their throat, on their temple. It's just like put your hand on her waist or her thigh or something. I mean, be a gentleman.
This may surprise you, Dylan, but I'm actually in sync with you.
Okay.
There's different techniques to the little. I've always said they like a little hand on their neck. They don't like to be choked, and these guys are doing like Undertaker-esque choke slams to the front of the larynx.
Right.
You put a little tickle on the back, and
right.
a thumb on the.
Yeah.
Come
exactly.
on, guys.
Yeah, come on.
Chill out, relax.
And also, this is when you're naked and you're in coitus, and not when you're kissing.
And there's a ball in your mouth.
I'm thinking more.
And there's a little person in a vinyl suit.
And speaking of vinyl, there's a record with screams going on in the background.
And Army Hammer is there for some reason.
Yeah. And so is Erica Jane.
We cover Real Housewives of Beverly Hills at patreon.com/another podcast network. Basically what I'm saying
is... And also,
is...
everybody who wants to comment about us sending people to Patreon and go in our reviews and leave 1 star, yeah. And you know what? About you, fuck you, and also, you're still listening, I know. Also, fuck you, I know you're still listening. Go to Patreon.
Oh, by the way, you can get a deal.
It's good.
If you sign up for 1 year, you get a major deal on that. So why don't you head over there right now? How much can they save, Nick?
They can save majorly, 10%.
Major savings.
1/10.
10%.
You would have to be an idiot to sign up month by month.
Yeah. It's like harder to leave a 1-star review about us pandering for money or begging for money than it is to sign up for a year membership. But what were you going to say about choking?
plug for the patreon.com/another podcast network. I'm actually going to read, I do little exit polls if people ever happen to release from our clutches. And I have 2 competing answers to that exit polls. One, how you should conduct yourself as a human being, and one, how you should not conduct yourself as a human being.
Can't wait to talk about
It'll be fun. But about that, basically what I'm saying is, fellas, do a half Muay Thai clinch. Not Undertaker chokeslam.
Right, 100%. So next day. Who gets the rose?
Nate, the bass player from Prince.
Right, bad guy from Black Panther. So next day, Ugly Logan wakes up and he's feeling good, but his Chiron says 26.
Too young.
Is that mind-blowing to you? He looks like he's in his late 30s and he's been smoking since he was 8. He does not look like a 26-year-old.
Logan?
Yeah, Ugly Logan.
Yeah, I think that's what happens to the former high school quarterback. He drinks so much in college, he ages real fast.
Yeah, 100%.
It's bad for your skin.
Peek out too.
They taste some what? I'm not setting this up at
is this,
all.
Next day, if this is the Rach day date with Avon. Or
right.
Avon.
Yes.
Okay. They get chocolate.
Yeah, they eat some chocolate. They slam each other up against a couple walls, and then find once again another check off on the rubric for the season.
Some random ladies making veils and invite them over.
And it has to be elders. It has to be older people who know a thing or two about love.
We've seen that so many times.
And then, but then they just make out in front of them and they're just awkwardly sitting there sewing these Belgian bead things that are traditional, I guess. It's just such bizarre producing.
I'm just glad they weren't in a fucking chapel.
I really don't like one-on-ones. The show needs to not be this show anymore. The structure of it is just so old, and I feel like this is really the end. I feel they're going to try to get innovative, and they're going to try to throw some things to mix up.
What do you think this is?
I know, and the thing is, it will be hated.
Gay lead.
That's their only hope.
Break glass in case of emergency.
Their only hope is to do something like that.
Okay.
Can you get in Fleiss's ear?
I can tweet them.
Yeah.
Because if they don't do that, they'll try to pepper in these little wrinkles to the format, and it'll just be hated by everyone. They're in such a tough spot because people hate the traditional format of the show, but if they try anything new,
they can't win at this point.
They're so bad at producing. Yeah, they're just going to fail.
I actually see this. God, we're talking a little too much shop, perhaps, but I actually see this being pulled off ABC and it actually put on like Disney Plus. I see a world where that's
right,
and then it becomes popular again because they can have a little bit more fun with the format over there.
I really like that take. That's what happens. These shows dwindle, but there's still a rabid audience who doesn't want to miss it, and they will all become subscribers.
That is such a great move. The head of ABC programming should look at that time slot and go, if we had 2 big sitcoms, we would and move this to a streaming platform, bolster the streaming platform for all the, Midwestern Bible Belt housewives who haven't gone on to the streaming platform yet, and chuck up some Gabriel Iglesias sitcom or something.
Sure.
Do you guys realize
how about that guy from Mike and Molly again?
Right,
he had like the lap band. He's
Billy Gardell.
He has to be dead.
His half-hour Comedy Central presents is just some good old family-friendly comedy. I love it. But basically what we're suggesting to Disney is do exactly what we're doing with another podcast. We're going to put this behind a paywall, and then we're going to fill it with better stuff.
Can I tell you my only solace of the show kind of dwindling, and we've a little peek behind the curtain, then we'll go back to the show. We actually happen to have insight and knowledge that a lot of podcasts, competing podcasts against us, their numbers are down.
Yes.
Hosted by your popular Bachelor Nation people.
Rachel Lindsay.
And I actually love that they are watching their numbers drop because this is their only fucking nipple that they're sucking off of.
Sure.
They're not like us. We got multiple things. We can
so many teats.
Yeah, I can't see Rachel Lindsay talking shop about fucking Below Deck, but we can.
She doesn't know shit about preference sheet meetings. Come in our arena, Rachel.
Guys, it's time to talk about BetterHelp. What does it mean to...
Well, I need better help because I was getting really upset and angry for no reason, and I was my ego was getting the best of me, and now I need to check in and actually reassess myself, Dylan.
You're saying that you need to turn on, tune in, and drop out?
I need to speak with someone at BetterHelp.
Exactly. You don't need to do what Dennis Leary told us all to do. You need to get to the root of the problem. You need to sit down and talk to a therapist who will help you take care of your mental well-being. Pat, how difficult is it to try and find a good therapist?
It's totally easy. It was less than 24 hours.
Well, I mean, outside of BetterHelp, it's really hard.
Oh,
though,
it
right?
took like a week one time, and I actually had to call the hotline and say, hey, look, I'm really struggling here. I got health insurance. I need to see someone yesterday.
Right.
It took another week. God knows what could have happened to me. But BetterHelp, you can get someone on the blower in under 24 hours.
48 hours. They say 48 hours you can get somebody, you're matched with a therapist in under 2 days. That's all it'll take. And BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat-only therapy sessions, so you don't even have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/ABP. Again, that's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/ABP.
Avon.
And if you don't, it's just a trick.
Gabby.
No, Avon and Rachel.
Oh, sorry.
Avon says stability is important to him. You know why?
Because his childhood sucked because his parents got a divorce.
Because he has trauma. Avon gives Rachel his mother's bracelet so that she can have smooth sailing, moving forward, falling in love with Tino. And then he gets the rose and fireworks. One-on-ones, they suck. If the people aren't dynamic, we have a perfect example of a good and a bad one-on-one. Johnny and Gabby, fun people. They do fun stuff. Rachel and Avon, boring as fuck. It's just the show needs to change. People can't watch this anymore. People can't watch this anymore. It breaks my heart.
That being said, the show needs to change. We're all having fun.
Yeah, we're having a great time.
I want you guys to know that we are having fun.
Yeah,
Totally. I like, but there are some parts of the show where you're like, show needs to change. It's breaking my heart that people watch it.
The fun is not derived from the show.
No.
But we're having fun.
I'm talking to BetterHelp for an hour on Saturday. I got it booked about how much I can't do this
All right,
anymore.
so back at the
You're
social
like, hey,
club.
BetterHelp. I talk to you. Half the time I watch The Bachelor every week. Please help.
Well, back to the social club. They let Johnny know what the haps is with Logan, and then he heads out. He's another one, 25 years old. My God.
Gets a full leg wrap around.
Yeah, I was going to throw to you.
Mm-hmm. Gabby's fun. I have to say this. I really like Gabby. She is really trying. You can tell, like, she wants the guys to feel comfortable. She doesn't have this crazy ego, and neither does Rachel, but...
Rachel's insecure. She doesn't have a huge ego.
Right. It's just Gabby is such a sweetheart. I feel like I feel like I could be buddies with her, you know?
So they head to a beer farm. The proprietors of this place are goddamn drunks. They suck down a couple of flights and then they head to the spa. And my God, these two are just so much fun. They're almost perfect for each other, but he hasn't heard about how her mom left her yet. So let's get there. Okay. It's really bizarre that this show makes people unveil what is extremely unattractive at this stage in a relationship. I'm not saying that it's unattractive, but it is for later. If you're on a first date with somebody, which this is, and you manufacture hatred for yourself and you manufacture clinical depression, you're going to see your date get up and go to the bathroom, and what you're not going to see is her break the fucking window and jump out of it, regardless of how cut she gets.
Well, yes.
Right.
Or vice versa.
Right.
Whenever, I hate to I sound like a terrible person, Dylan, but
no, it's a time like us time.
This is a transparent podcast, and I've gone on dates before I found my lovely wife, and it's the second date, perhaps the first date, perhaps it's at Casa Vega, and a girl where we haven't even ordered cocktails yet, and she's telling me something horrific that happened to her, and I hate to say this, but I'm like, damaged goods. No way.
Okay, yeah,
that's how human beings are.
That's really transparent.
We're reptilian. We're reptilian. And we do evaluate things, and it's at least give me a little bit of time to get to know you.
Let's have a margarita or four before we talk about what your uncle did to you.
Yes, that's my point.
Wait till I'm in love with you and I'm forced to stay with you as a burden.
Yes.
If you tell me right away, this is a flag. Get away. Get away.
Right. You know what?
Don't be strapped down with my inability.
Sell the car and then tell the person
that the transmission is shitting
exactly.
out. Dylan,
You a used car salesman of your own damaged psyche.
Right.
Dylan. You know, I don't feel like a misogynist for saying this from a guy standpoint. When you hear a girl that you've taken out on a date starts saying crazy stuff. I once was on a date with a girl, and she told me within 15
Costa
minutes
Vega.
that she dated Puff Daddy. So now, and then some rich club promoter who married Holly Madison told her if she got an abortion, that he'd pay her $30,000. This was in
Any
the first,
abortion or his child?
His child.
Oh, okay.
This was in the first
Good
15 minutes, and I'm
clarification.
like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So no on that. But the point I was going to make, Dylan, is that girls evaluate guys all the time. If a guy's on a date and he does something that irks them, name the irk. Like, oh, he didn't open the door for me, or he's already starting to talk about his ex-girlfriend.
Or he's talking about the Avengers a lot.
They say, fuck this. This guy's a tool.
Yeah.
And they get to do that. We get to do it
Of
too.
course. Yeah.
Or he takes you to the Jake Paul fight at Staples Center and he orders a double whiskey at the concession. Jules was pretty turned off by that. But I'm like, it takes a long time to go to concessions and you don't want to leave the arena.
Right.
Oh, hell no.
Jake Paul's fighting.
It's the strategy. But also...
Jake Paul's fighting.
But also...
It's like going to the bathroom in the middle of an Academy Award-winning film.
Jake Paul's fighting.
Yeah.
But also, there was this UK guy who's like a legit boxer.
Right.
Yeah, he was cool.
Can't miss that.
Yeah.
So,
Billy something.
he gets the roast, and I ship them. I mean, big ship. Like the size of the Valiant Lady kind of ship. I really like these two. Let's get to the cocktail ceremony. It is a cocktail ceremony that is not canceled, and I wish it was. I'm kidding. Gabby misquotes Uncle Ben and says, with great power
risk,
comes great risk.
reward.
Something. And we toast to a great night. The narrative of this evening is how astronomical it would be if Logan got a rose. And if you know anything about The Bachelor, you know that if you can smell lazy reverse psychology, that's probably what's going on. Yeah. So, Pat, should we get there?
Yeah. One final thing. Gabby gives the bass player for Prince chocolate for his daughter. And then we get a montage.
I completely forgot he's got a kid.
Yeah. I have my one point basically about what actually happened on the show tonight is that Gabby is insanely attracted to the bad guy from Black Panther, the backup player from Prince. Oh, yeah. She loves this guy. Yeah. But she's not going to be with him. She's basically already stated she doesn't see a child fitting into her life at the moment.
Right.
So this guy's getting a ride in fantasy suites, and then he's getting the boot and plane ticket to paradise.
Good for you, Gabby. He's hot.
He's hot.
By the way, I will finally show the bass player from Prince and the Revolution in the music video. Famous. He's the only guy that Prince allowed to sing in a music video. Little Red Corvette, and we will play that video. And he does
Little Red Corvette. Have you seen Black Panther?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, because his is great.
Really?
Yeah, and I believe you
because
of your conviction, but we're gonna have to put a side by side and get a vote out there.
All right. Logan does rock paper scissors, and then we get a rose ceremony.
And that's a real thing that happened on the show. It sounds made up, like a satire.
Yeah. No, that's what happened. It's time for a rose call.
All right. This rose ceremony roll call sucks because I just was out of gas.
Yeah, and
we love this. We're having fun.
I know that we're having fun, and I know that you're out of gas and things like that. But with this being the last couple episodes,
there's 6.
No, I mean when I was taking my notes.
No, I'm aware of what you're talking about, and hear me now. You've got to pick it the fuck up because there are going to be some fans who, for whatever reason, maybe inflation, hard times, being a fucking cheapo, not loving us enough. They're not going to hear your rose calls, your roll calls anymore. So you need to give them a little last drip.
Well, that's not going to happen with this particular
No,
roll
it
call.
is
Here
not.
we go. Here's a roll call. Gabby picks Jason. Nothing. I don't know who this cast is. Rach picks Zach. Gab picks Spencer. No clue.
No clue.
Do you know who Spencer is? No clue.
No idea.
Did I already say Spencer? Oh, yeah. Rach picks Tyler. Gab.
Oh, Spencer's the one that looks like Joe Latruglio.
Who's that?
The guy from Burning Rose who has a son.
Oh, nice.
And when he meets June Diane Rayfield, he says, the thing I love more than anything, and he pulls open his shirt, and he's got a T-shirt with his son's face on it, and she sees it and starts screaming. It's so much better than The Bachelor.
Oh,
Burning
it's
Love.
wonderful.
Burning
They
Love.
3 seasons of that, right?
I think like 2 or 3. Yeah,
Called it Burning Love.
it's so funny.
Gab picks Eric with an H. One rose left. Rach gives that to Ethan. Gabby picks Logan. Logan humble brags for a minute.
Yeah,
Show ends.
good for you, Logan. We'll see you guys next week. Jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. If you didn't hear already, go Patreon for more paid stuff.
Sign up for that year subscription.
It's
too.
huge good.
Are you an idiot? Do you want to pay too much?
Join us on the Facebook. That is going to change from The Bachelor to what we're doing soon. We will announce that soon. We love you guys for listening to us talk about the show that we love. I'm Dylan, saddled up next to one, saying goodbye. Nick.
I am one. Goodbye.
That?
Later.
Another one.